My family's watching this right now on demand, not all of them. Some of my extended family members are here for my sister's graduation. But here's the biggest problem. This is a movie that I was really looking forward to because I like Seth MacFarlane, I like Ted, and I'm hopeful that Ted 2 will be good, but I have no fucking idea. I really don't. But I was looking forward to his sophomore outing as director and co-writer, but unfortunately, and the trailers were good, but then I realized, oh, those were the funniest scenes in the movie. That's why I finally realized how awful marketing is in Hollywood today. Fuck you, Hollywood. Seriously, I mean this. Warning, there may be excessive ranting and overuse of language. I don't even care though. I'm doing this for you guys if you guys can get easily offended. Though, why you watch my videos if you know that I address my cursing in my videos? Moonlight Design in the West, directed by Seth MacFarlane, written by him, Alex Solkin, Wellesley Wild. I don't know how to pronounce his first name. Complo, if you know how to pronounce it. And it stars MacFarlane, obviously. Adam Seyfried, Amanda Seyfried, Charlize Theron, Liam Neeson, Giovanni Ribisi, Sarah Silverman. And I think there was a yeah, whatever. I don't even care anymore. Neil Patrick Harris. Forgot about that. And it stars Seth MacFarlane as a guy I think named Albert, who is basically a fucking loser who loses his girlfriend, Amanda Seyfried, and he meets this new person who comes to the town that he lives in, where everyone dies because the title. Why not? But yeah, this is terrible. Let me just go on with it. I need to get on with it. He meets this person who's new to the town, Charlize Theron, who decides to help him get her back from Neil, who of course is now kind of fucking Neil Patrick Harris, I guess. I'm not sure really fucking, but about to. And unfortunately, while trying to help her, like Liam Neeson, like Charlize Theron's boyfriend, I believe, comes into town and is kind of about trying to find like Albert and trying to kill him. This movie is not very good. I didn't really like it. I was excited for it. It looked promising, it looked funny, but at the same time I was also skeptical because I just am not a fan of comedy. I don't like it anymore. I love dark comedies. That's a subgenre. The thing is that comedies overall, they suck. They're not funny anymore. They don't work. They don't make sense. They don't even try to be good anymore. They just aim so low for laughs. And this movie is, while it is better than some, it still is not really an exception to the rule. Now, this movie is sometimes funny. Even though all the funny scenes were really in the trailers, there were a few scenes that weren't. But overall, I did laugh sometimes because even though I still found myself kind of laughing to it, but I wasn't laughing hysterically as some of the scenes in the trailers. Although some of them weren't all that funny to begin with. Some of them were fun, some of them were not. Especially the Red Band trailers. I think those give away the best laughs. Just, Jesus Christ. Also, this movie doesn't really... I think this movie just feels a little random at times. The problem is, I don't feel like this was really much of a cohesive story involved. Now, I feel like this movie just feels like sketches put together to be... in an attempt to be funny. But the problem is while some are funny, I did laugh a couple times in this movie, but the problem is, not all the jokes hit. Some of them fell flat, which is really sad. Now, Ted I thought was really funny. I was laughing my ass off throughout it, even though it has some of his brand of Seth MacFarlane's brand of humor. I still thought the movie kind of made sense from a story basis, even if it was simplistic. It still made sense in terms of a story. Here, though, it feels random because all they're doing is just showing all the ways people are dying, and the thing is, the so-called story in this thing is just basically kind of bullshit. And while there were some funny ones not in the trailers, such as involving a horse, but overall, it's kind of lame. Some of the jokes, I feel like they just try a little too hard. Some of them drag on for too long. I feel like, really? Like, MacFarlane, you made Ted, and I think that one did know when. And even though there were some jokes that sometimes didn't really hit, I thought that one was actually really funny. That one knew when to time a joke and when to end, like when it would start, how long it goes on for, and when to end it. I mean, really, this one goes on forever, and to be honest, not all the jokes are funny. They have some lame slapstick here, sometimes some lame, I guess, slapstick, and sometimes it is sometimes entertaining, but the thing is, it just feels a lot random, and it feels more like it's just be a lame satire of the Old West. If you want a good satire of the Old West, like a spoof, you guys already know this. Mel Brooks's comedy masterpiece, Blazing Saddles. I mean, I love that movie, 5 out of 5. I'm going to do a review on that probably after this. I mean, That movie's hilarious. I mean, that one is so silly, yet it embraces it. It pokes fun at the genre in a very goofy way, and it manages to be hysterical. I mean, I laugh my ass off throughout it. The cast is fun. The writing's solid. Also, the ending, one of the best fourth wall breaks in film history. I mean, seriously, non-stop entertaining value. It didn't matter if it didn't make sense or not. It still worked because he embraced its style and created a hilarious classic. If you have not seen that movie, you gotta watch it because that one is hysterical. You'll laugh your ass off to it. Hail Mel Brooks, comedy legend. Young Frankenstein's my favorite. I've also seen History of the World Part 1. Trying to show myself in this movie from a million ways because I just don't like the movie very much. Now, the acting, not very good. They waste a very talented cast here. I mean, Neil Patrick Harris, How I Met Your Mother, Barney Stinson, that guy's hilarious. I mean, seriously, quotes from that show. Also, that guy is funny. The thing is, I feel like he does add something to the movie, but overall he's kind of wasted. Amanda Seyfried, not very funny. I feel like her character, she was at times entertaining, but overall she was kind of a lame character. Liam Neeson, for a guy who's just, big with action movies today, though he's hoping to retire soon, he's not very fun. He just really wasn't all that great. He was very underused. I mean, it just wasn't very fun. Seth MacFarlane is really the show here. And really, I didn't think it was all that great. There are times I thought his acting was flat. I thought he was pretty bad in this movie. He's directing himself, for Christ's sakes. I mean, he did better with Ted. At least he got solid performances out of himself as the teddy bear. Awesome motion. Good motion capture. Mark Wahlberg. Mila Kunis. I mean, seriously? How do you screw that up? I mean, you got solid performances out of the cast. You got a lot of laughs out of it. You created a mass hit. Hopefully Ted 2 will be good, but I have no fucking clue. I'll have to wait and hopeful that it will work. I mean, we had Picture Perfect 2, which was a good comedy sequel. Though we had Disaster, known as Paul Blart Mall Cop 2. 0 out of 5. There are some entertaining scenes. I guess like one of the bar fight scenes was kind of funny, but overall it kind of got. There were times where it was entertaining, but other times it was a little dumb. I feel like some of the jokes didn't really work for me. Some of the jokes didn't really make sense. I mean, I know they're trying to be funny. The problem is though they're kind of stupid and they just didn't really flow. They just felt weird. And I get what they're trying to do, but overall it just doesn't really make sense. One of the jokes I think is Sarah Silverman, Giovanni Ribisi. You know Sarah Silverman. She's a prostitute, obviously. Giovanni Ribisi. I don't know what his profession is, but he's kind of a loser, I guess you could say. And overall, they're not gonna have sex till they get married. Okay, first off, what the fuck is that? I get the joke, but really? What the fuck? Premarital sex, okay. It just became kind of stupid. I feel like that some of the jokes were fine, but some of the jokes, sometimes they drag on for too long, some of them are random, they don't really work. Also, this movie's incredibly crass. I mean, holy shit. It's incredibly crass. I mean, holy shit. There's a lot of piss jokes, a lot of pee, shit, and fart jokes. Sometimes it works, but other times it's just so gross. If you want movies that utilize fart jokes perfectly, well, I only know really one. Dumb and Dumber. I mean, that's a classic. I love that movie. It's one of the greatest comedies of all time. And that one used fart jokes perfectly. Haha. Even Louie's kind of crass, but at least it still is very funny. I still love watching this movie. It's so fucking funny. I love Louie, one of the funniest shows on TV today. 5 out of 5. I still haven't finished the 4th season, but I finished the 5th season. Very good. Hopeful for season 6. This series can go on for 9 years, and this series can go on for eternity, and it still would be funny. They still have so much material because it's just everyday life. You can get not every day is the same. Especially in New York City. Seriously, watch the show, guys. It's awesome. I feel like that some of the characters were underused. I didn't find all the jokes very funny. Some of them felt like a lot like sketches rather than actual movies. I feel like that also some of the jokes were kind of dumb, such as like how he's talking Native American language. Mila Kunis. Really? I mean, I get what you're saying, but to be honest, that's kind of lazy. There's some lazy writing here, and it just really is stupid. Charlize Theron. How is she? She has some moments, but overall, she's very underutilized. If you want to see her as an awesome badass, you watch Mad Max Fury Road. 5 out of 5. Do I need to say how awesome she is? She's one of the greatest female action heroes since Rita Rose Rataski in Edge of Tomorrow. Black Widow, although not really in the sex term, although they are kind of a lot more sexier, Rhea and Black Widow, but they're still badass. Although she's completely, Furiosa, completely badass. No, it doesn't matter the looks. She can kick ass, and she is awesome. Seriously, watch the movie, it's great. Hopefully for the sequels, too. Thank you. Praise George Miller for creating a good action movie in this fucked up decade. With all these crappy action movies like, this is from what I heard, all these crazy shaky cam and quick cuts, from films like Taken 2, Taken 3, Alex Cross. These are from what I heard, because I don't try to watch bad movies, because I'm not trying to be an idiot. I feel so sorry for anyone who watched this stuff. And who am I talking to? Well, for what I know, Bobby Burns, possibly Mark from Fanboy Flex, Chris Stuckman, and really anyone who watched this stuff, especially critics and audiences who saw this movie. Yeah, that really says something. Anyways, this film, there are some entertaining moments, but sometimes there's some jokes that drag on for so long, they just kind of bore me. And I feel like that whenever they try to, like, stop a joke and do another one, it just feels awkward and doesn't really feel, it just doesn't flow. There is one scene that luckily wasn't that they only showed bits and pieces, only showed a few bits in the trailers. That was the mustache song. That was the best part of the movie, really, to me. Because it was entertaining, it was funny, it was silly, but I still found a lot of fun in it. Overall, there are times where I tried finding on YouTube to rewatch it, and I even bought the song. See, that was really the only things I really liked from that movie. Overall, guys, I mean, this is not a good Western comedy. This makes Westerns look bad. I mean, Westerns are not popular anymore, but I do want to, although I did love Django Unchained, I mean, I love Quentin Tarantino, I'm really excited to see Hateful Eight. Comment below if you are too. And also, what do you think of Django Unchained? I just think this movie was very good. It's not a very clever satire on Westerns. It's not very funny. I just thought it was okay. I think I'm going to give it like a 2.5 out of 5. It just, also this movie was almost 2 hours long, so it kind of felt a little long. And, it's not always worth your time. If you seriously want something that's pretty damn funny, I don't think you might like this. If you are a fan of Seth MacFarlane, you might find something to enjoy in this. But if you're looking for a great follow-up to Ted, then you will be disappointed. Overall, okay guys, that's my review. Comment below. What did you think of Moonlight Star in the West? How would you compare it to Ted? Are you excited for Ted 2? Comment below and subscribe to my channel for more videos.